Section 2, Topic 3. The nature of matter, good or evil. No matter is intrinsically evil. It is neither moral nor immoral, virtuous nor wicked, good nor evil. It is simply the substance from which all things are made. In this brief topic I wish to address this issue, as some will question my belief that all matter is the very substance of God Himself on the basis of their seeing evil in the created realm and being unable to reconcile the concept to the apparent reality that if everything is made from the substance of God, and God is righteous, then why are there evil things in the realm of physical creation? Following is my take on this apparent discrepancy. Some may wonder how I can reconcile the idea that everything that exists in the physical realm consists of the substance of God when there are evil things in creation. My contention is that no thing is intrinsically evil in and of itself. It is not the juice of the grape which is evil, but man's choice to abuse it by fermenting it and drinking it to excess. It is not the marijuana plant which is evil, but man's decision to abuse it. The same thing may be said of tobacco, coca plants, or anything else which appears in nature. Why God chose to create such things only He knows, but the fact that they do exist is evidence of the certainty of His will that they exist. I have often wondered why God would create mosquitoes or fleas, but of answers to questions such as these one may only speculate. Perhaps the reason is simply that they exist to afford man the opportunity to make choices which exhibit his natural sinful nature, as was the case with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil which He placed in the Garden of Eden, not being desirous of man choosing that which is wrong, but rather granting him the choice in order to demonstrate to him that in his natural state he will inevitably choose evil over good, and thus make him all the more aware of his inherent need of a Savior. Man himself, that is, the material aspect of a man, is neither immoral nor evil. It is simply a collection of atoms and molecules formed to create a vehicle or a platform by which man may exist and have his being in the material universe. We look at people like Hitler, Stalin, Bin Laden, and the like and say they are evil. As individuals, they were evil in the way they chose to live their lives and by way of the horrific injustices and cruelties they imposed on the multitudes of innocent lives around them. But it was the soul of the man, not the material man, which chose to perform the evil deeds for which they are remembered. The body is no more to blame for the actions determined by the soul than a gun is responsible for murdering someone. I think the thing that perhaps bothered me the most about this notion of all things created being the substance of God was when I began to consider the prospect of God being the material aspect of hell itself, hell being evil and God being perfectly righteous. I prayed about it as I have over every other topic presented in this book, because from the onset of its writing I determined to explore the subject matter thoroughly and without deciding beforehand what was right or wrong, and promising myself that I would not try to make something fit into my premises if it didn't. Had I not felt comfortable with my conclusion in this matter, I can assure you that the entirety of this concept on matter as the substance of God would have been shelved. When I asked God how it could be then that hell was made from His own righteous substance, when hell was the abode of Satan himself, His reply came to me as a question. Is the prison evil because it houses the worst mankind has to offer? No, it is simply brick, mortar, and steel. Hell is simply God's prison for the wicked damned. Therefore even hell itself is not evil. It simply houses and confines that which is evil. That being the case, it follows then that Satan, that is, whatever material form may comprise Satan, is not evil either. It, like man's body, is simply a means of connecting the ethereal aspects of existence to a physical universe. We know that God Himself created man and Satan. However, when Satan was created, he was the chief among God's angels, even as Adam was created in perfection, free of sin. And both by means of their own decisions and free will choices chose the evil rather than the good, and thus became what they are today. In man it is the soul which is good or evil. For Satan I cannot say, for I know not whether he has a soul or not. But whatever the mechanism he employs to make decisions, it too, like a man's soul, is the aspect of existence which is evil, not the material. I hope that this brief discussion has given you a greater insight into the benign nature of the universe's material existence. It is simply the common and available means employed by an individual entity to bring his ethereal desires to fruition in a physical reality. Hey guys, this is just going to be a short follow-up because it's a real basic subject matter in this short topic. The only reason I brought it up to begin with is because of my conclusion that all material is a part of who God is, and that there is a material aspect to hell. There is some material aspect to it. And if all material is a part of who God is, how can God be a part of hell? That's the only reason I brought this up. And like I said in the video, prisons and jails are not evil in and of themselves. The prison or the jail is just brick and mortar and steel. It houses what is evil. It isn't evil in and of itself. You could put, an orphanage inside a jailhouse. That would the jailhouse be evil then? No, it's not. It's not the material aspect of anything that is evil. It's the will behind the material aspect that's evil. And that's the only point I was trying to make in this. And the only reason I brought this up to begin with was because, if all the material aspect of the universe is God, and there's a material aspect to hell, then how could that be reconciled? And that's what this little topic was about. And with that, I'm just going to say this is a video, and God bless, and I'll see you soon.